when it comes to injury, like concussions and all that, it's very it's very important. Not everybody reports them, and sometimes they go unreported. And it's a very serious thing when it comes to contact sports like football, boxing, and wrestling, and all those sports. And CTE, you get a series of concussions can lead up to a possibility of CTE, which is an abbreviation for a chronic traumatic. At least stand for the marriage. I'm saying the last word. I can't say it.
Encephalopathy.
Instead from the mirror for like 5 minutes trying to say it. I can't say it. So it's a degenerative brain disease that's found in athletes or others with an injury or brain trauma, and what it does, it just deteriorates your brain through the years. Should be everyone should. About 1.6 to 3.8 million concussions are either reported or unreported over the years, which is very serious. Like, especially during American League football, like some of those guys played through them, which is very serious, and during high school too. Some of them toughen up, which is very bad. And they sustain at least. Those playing in American football, they sustain at least 1,400 impacts in one season. And those playing more than one position, at least sustain double the impacts. A risk factor of getting CTE is genetic predisposition, which is an increased likelihood of developing a particular disease based on a person's genetics. And the gene that can lead up to having CTE is the APOE gene, which can either be inherited by your parents. And a case study showed that of 12 athletes, and 5 out of those 12 athletes had the APOE gene, and over the years consisted of having CTE. In this case, it seems that APOE gene may be the cause of CTE, but further, to actually determine if it is the cause of it, more research needs to be done. And the case of studying the football players, 5 of those athletes were football players, and the positions they played were either linemen or linebackers, which in football, those are the 2 positions that have the most impacts of one season. And if you have CTE, the effects of having it are memory loss, outbursts of violence or aggressive behavior, confusion, cognitive decline, which is confusion, and unsteadiness. And over the years, you guys have pretty sure heard on the news about football players that have beaten their wives due to aggressive behavior, and that's part of the cause of how much brain trauma they have over the years. And this right here, it's a normal brain, has mild CTE, and severe. Over the years, the brain very deteriorates, which is very bad. When it comes to concussions, it's very serious to report them. I've witnessed. I have a couple family members that play football. They try to toughen it up when they have concussions. It's a very big deal to get your rest and everything and all that.
All right, Michaela, what did you think? Not here, huh? All right, well, that makes sense. There we go. We have somebody who is... Alexander, are you here? All right, I tried twice. All right, Joshua, at the attention device sounds like you're talking about just any injury at first. As you talk a little bit more, it becomes clear that you're being more specific to CTE. So it seems like your attention device probably ought to be more specific to CTE. I think that would help focus a little bit more at the beginning. The topic is identifiable. Your thesis, though, I'm not sure I know exactly where you're going with this and where we're supposed to end up. I know the topic is CTE, but what am I supposed to learn about it? Am I supposed to learn how to prevent it? Am I supposed to learn what it does to me or to the people that suffer from it? Are you going to give me a context? Is it an introduction? I'm not exactly sure in the long run what I'm supposed to get out of the presentation, and that needs to be sharpened up quite a bit. I do think you have some nice justification for talking about it because you have some statistical data about the number of people who have concussions each year, although a concussion doesn't automatically result in CTE, so I'm wondering, well, where's the data about CTE? Do we have some information about that, or is it too new, or do we not know enough about it yet to figure those things out? I don't know, because you don't give me much context on it. There's no preview of what the structure is going to be, and once you start talking about information, it really starts feeling like you're wandering around on the subject. That's especially highlighted by the fact that you start showing us the pictures without really telling us what it is that we're looking for or how they are progressing. I mean, I got the general impression that I should know, well, that's supposed to be a good-looking brain and that's a not-so-good-looking brain, but I don't know if how long a period of time that is, the number of concussions that we're dealing with. Is this progressive as people get older? I don't know any of those sorts of things. I mean, you do give us a little bit more about that at the end with the last slide than you did with the first slide, which, like I said, just seemed like it was wallpaper at first. You don't really talk about it. I don't hear any citations of information. Even the numbers that you have, which I know you didn't make up, you got them someplace, but you need to tell us where that comes from. The information about APOE, I thought that's interesting, and that needs to be developed a little bit more, because it sounds to me like if that is true, that CTA is related to that, and it's people get concussions and they have to have the genetic predisposition to get the CTE, well, then maybe we ought to be screening them out of these kinds of games to begin with. You are taking a risk by playing football. You're okay because you'll recover from this and you won't probably develop CTE in the long run. I didn't know that was an issue. It sounds like it's an interesting point, and I think it needs to be developed more in the presentation, but it's really kind of given in passing. And even the visualization that you have, although it identifies APOE, I'm not sure that scan is particularly different than the actual brains that we're looking at or the material that we're looking at in the last slide. They all seem to be kind of parallel to one another in presenting the information. At best, you're kind of using the slides to kind of organize information and move us from one idea to the next, but you jump back and forth between them, and that creates a little bit of a problem also. The visuals, like I said, I think the images are good, but you need to explain them a little bit more, and you need to integrate them into the speech a little bit more. They just feel like they are happening in the background instead of something that you are using in the presentation. Let me ask you, do you know what the main two delivery issues are about your speech that I'm going to tell you about?
The risks of having them and the potential.
No, that's your speech. I'm talking about you
Okay.
and the way you're presenting your speech. I'm going to pick out two things to mention. Let me see if you've got the same things. What do you think were problematic about your presentation? Okay, that's the first one. You're pacing. Your energy level is...
I don't know why I was so nervous.
Well, it's anxiety that comes out, and anxiety comes out somehow.
Exactly,
What you want to do is you want to channel your anxiety. We're going to talk about this. This is like when we get back after the break and we do the last set of speeches. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about dealing with anxiety issues, which might feel like it's a little late for people, but you really need this experience to help you understand it.
Yeah.
What you need to do is you can kind of have to channel that anxiety, get it out of your feet and put it into your voice, into your facial expressions, into your gestures, so that you're more engaged with us and less, just nervously letting the energy out. So that's one way that you're going to deal with that. All right. What's the other thing? Do you know?
It's like a little bit.
I didn't notice that was a particular problem, but it does have to do with your body movement. You have a tendency to speak sideways and sometimes to deliver the speech to the screen. So when you watch your video, you're going to see that that's the case, that sometimes you just kind of turn away from us. You're given, it's like the podium is your audience sometimes. You're talking to that side of the room, and did he ever look at you guys over there? A couple of times, maybe? Yeah, it just really felt like, you're kind of looking at your notes, and then you're looking up. When you look up, you're over there, and you need to be more consistent in engaging the audience. All right, we'll stop there. Thank you.